This is the Ross Kaminsky Show.
You're a great American.
He's a great guy.
Now, Ross Kaminsky on Denver's talk station, 630 KHAL.
Well, good morning. It's Wednesday already. Awesome. I got next week off, so I'm looking forward to getting through this week and have a little time with my kids and just, well, a lot of honeydew around the house, too. The house is kind of almost functional right now, which is really good. Oh, I need to tell you just a quick story. Okay, so I want to say it's probably 3 in the morning, and I wake up, and I'm like, and by the way, we're live on YouTube right now. If you go to YouTube and type in Ross Kaminsky, you'll be able to see me wearing a T-shirt this morning. So I wake up again. I think it was around 3 in the morning, and something doesn't smell right, and it smelled like a skunk. And there really isn't a lot more to the story except that the smell stuck around when I got up in the morning. A couple hours later, still smelled like skunk. And Kristen, I usually do a pretty good job of not waking her up when I get out of bed. She goes to bed later than I do. She gets up later than I do. But she woke up this morning, and I said, "It smells like skunk in here." And she said, "Oh my gosh," she said, "when I came in to go to bed last night, I smelled it, and she said, I thought to myself, gosh, Ross is just so overwhelmed and overworked that he smells like skunk." No, it's not me. Unless that shower gel that you and the kids gave me for Father's Day smells like skunk, it definitely wasn't me. It is weird though. It smells like skunk in my bedroom a little bit. Now, the window into the bedroom, there's a window that's cracked open, and there's a little doggy door that probably isn't totally airtight. So I'm guessing a skunk walked by in the neighborhood somewhere, just a little mad about something, or maybe it's a Democrat skunk, and he thought that there was a sculpture of a president around, and just came over and did a little spray, and some of that drifted into the bedroom, I guess. But, oh, man, waking up to skunk smell. Anyway, all right. I just thought I'd share a little skunk story with you. I don't know how we're going to get the smell out. I mean, there's nothing we really can do. Air it out and cross our fingers. So you will recall, because you've been watching the news, that a few days ago there was this story of a noose being found in a garage number 4, I believe, at the Talladega Superspeedway. A noose found in the garage that was assigned to the team of NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace, who now famously, I mean, I never heard of him before. I'm not a big NASCAR guy. But anyway, apparently the only black NASCAR driver. And somebody reported finding a noose there. I don't think it was Bubba who reported it, but somebody on his team reported seeing a noose there. And Bubba Wallace just kind of went crazy on Twitter, talking about what it meant and how he was going to persevere through it. And then the next day, all the other drivers literally got behind him and pushed his car up to the front of the line to show this kind of solidarity and support. Now, I made a specific point in my tiny brain of not talking about this on the show, because I thought that there was a much better than 50-50 chance that this would turn out not to be what everybody was turning it into. And I'm telling you, if you went, let's say on Google News at the time, you would find story after story after story from all the mainstream news outlets, right? Washington Post, ABC, NBC, ESPN, everybody. Noose in Bubba Wallace's garage. And how many of these stories do we have to see to realize that they're either errors or hoaxes almost all the time? Maybe not 100% of the time, but they're errors or hoaxes more often than they're not. And yet, people keep biting. I mean, okay, have you ever caught a fish thrown it back, and then caught the same fish again. He's still got the hole in his cheek. I've only done this once. Still got the hole in his cheek from the previous time you hooked him. And then he bites on the same hook with the same worm again. That's what everybody did, except there's a difference. In the same way that the fish wanted the worm, all these people in the mainstream media and liberals and Democrats and whatever, this is the key. Although they decry a noose in huge air quotes and all of that kind of stuff, and of course I would too. If I thought somebody really put up a noose for the purpose of antagonizing, frightening, threatening a black person, I'd be furious. And I'd be out there protesting with them. But the thing is, so many of these people, they want it to be a noose. Now, I'm not saying Bubba Wallace did. I have no idea about Bubba Wallace. I don't know Bubba Wallace. I don't even know about Bubba Wallace. And for the record, I couldn't care less about Bubba Wallace or any other race car driver. I don't care. It's not a sport I've been interested in. It's never a sport I've been interested in. I guess a lot of people dig it. Maybe I should go to a race and check it out because 100,000 people or more go to these things and, stand around drinking their cheap beer and waving Confederate flags. It's not my scene, watching a car drive in a circle for a while. But apparently it must be fun because a lot of people go, so whatever. I got no axe to grind in any direction on NASCAR Bubba Wallace, but people want to find a noose. Oh, look, they just want to. You know why? Because what's going on in America today, and this ties in perfectly with what's going on with the statues and all, is that people want to call America irredeemably bad, evil. And so many young people, and I'm not talking about children, okay? I'm talking about late teens up to 30s, early 30s, have had their minds just wrecked by our educational system, mostly by college. They have been trained through 4 years of college and a little bit through high school too, in part through the influence of the terrible, malign influence of people like Tay Anderson right here in Denver, who disdain or despise their country. And they look for any evidence that the country is imperfect, which every country is, and change imperfection into fatally flawed, into evil. These are, at the root of it, the same kind of people who would have thought that Soviet Russia and the United States were on an equal moral footing, equally good countries with equally good systems, just one country making a different choice from another. These are people who are the newer, younger version of Bernie Sanders, which is to say, they are ignorant and evil. But there's a certain thing about today's ignorance. There's a certain thing about today's entitled 25-year-old, brain-addled, usually white person who came out of some college, even maybe a theoretically very good college, thinking that he or she is so special that he or she, and look, young people are always this way, but the difference right now, in my opinion, is that not only are young people idealistic as they always have been, and not only do they think that they know more than people who have more experience than they do, which has also long been the case, but what they think is that those people who are older and know more are part of a system that they have been trained to believe is evil. They have been trained to believe that the entire American political and social structure is basically the old South with slavery and then Jim Crow, but it's not like that in real life. Yeah, there are racists in America, but the left and these idiot young people believe and or want us to believe that there's a racist behind every tree and there's a racist under every rock. And the media wants us to believe it too. And they have always wanted us to believe it, but they want us to believe it more than ever right now. Because the next step, and this is coming much more from the media than from the 25-year-old entitled snowflake who isn't really smart enough to take this next step, although they're easily manipulable by people who are smart enough. They want to tell us that there's a racist under every rock and behind every tree. And the next step is there didn't really used to be. There used to be a bunch of racists, but now they're everywhere because of Donald Trump. That's the step they want people to take in their minds as we head into the 2020 election. Maybe some of them even believe it. Again, an utter failure of education in our country. So yesterday, the FBI said, after sending like a dozen or more agents to the Talladega Superspeedway to investigate the noose, that the noose was simply a pull rope to open a door or move a big garage door, and that it had been there since at least as early as last October. And who knows, maybe well before that. And based on some emails from a couple of listeners, apparently this kind of rope thing is fairly common. And you can imagine a piece of rope shaped a little bit like a noose. In other words, a hole in the center and fairly thick rope on the bottom would be an easy and convenient way to quickly grab hold of something that where you can pull a door, let's say, a big garage door, when it might be more difficult. Maybe you've got gloves on, maybe you got grease on your hands, who knows, on your gloves. You just need something that you can grab quickly and easily. A circular-ish piece of rope is a very convenient and sensible solution. NASCAR put out a statement saying, the FBI report concludes and photographic evidence confirms that the garage door pull rope fashioned like a noose had been positioned there since as early as last fall. This was obviously well before the 43 team's arrival and garage assignment. That's Bubba Wallace's team number. We appreciate the FBI's quick and thorough investigation and are thankful to learn this is not an intentional racist act against Bubba. We remain steadfast in our commitment to providing a welcoming and inclusive environment for all who love racing. Do you? You know, if you did, then why would you have overreacted the way that you did to begin with, going along with all of the angry mobs and immediately assuming that someone actually put a noose in a race car driver's garage. By the way, wouldn't you think that these are places that have very good security and cameras to keep an eye on these expensive cars and all the expensive gear around designed to maintain the cars and car parts and all that? You think someone's going to be able to, easily go in and put up a noose and nobody's going to see them? There was reported a noose at a NASCAR track in Sonoma. That was reported sometime yesterday, I think. And now there's more headlines. Noose apparently found at Sonoma Raceway. Investigation after what appears to be a noose found at Sonoma Raceway. Can you imagine if this thing ends up in Sonoma to just be another garage door opening rope? How many people in NASCAR do you think knew, oh yeah, there's ropes of that shape all over the place. We use them to open doors. That's what they're for. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Unbelievable. I guess Bubba Wallace was still saying, even after people told him that it was a garage pull, and I guess this is maybe before the official FBI thing, but he said that he had read that people were saying it was a garage pull. And he went on to say it was a noose. Might have been older, but it was a noose. Wasn't directed at me, but someone tied a noose. That's what I'm saying. It was a noose. Look, how are people of goodwill who want to deal with race relations better in the United States of America and want to get a true understanding between blacks and whites and people of all creeds and colors, how are we supposed to work together when half the country constantly calls the other half racists? We'll be back.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Ross Kaminsky now. Tom Martino at 10, 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
Good Wednesday morning. A lot of construction work overnight, still causing a backup in that Commerce City Drive. Eastbound 270 on the ramp to eastbound I-70. Looks like a lane of that ramp blocked off. Eastbound 270 slow from Vasquez. I-70 Drive looks great. No trouble there if you're heading out to DIA. 225 is quiet. I-25 trouble-free downtown at the Tech Center. There was a wreck northbound I-25 at Highway 7. That crash is gone, so are the backups. In Glendale, water main break, Leedsdale, and Cherry. Denver's forecast, partly sunny today. 20% chance for an afternoon shower or thunderstorm with a high of 92. Currently, it is 59 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Susan Phelan, 630 KHOW.
With an Allstate agent, you get a local expert and help finding the best coverage for you. And because they live in your community, you can always count on them to be there when you need them most. Plus, when you bundle home and auto, you can save. So call your local Allstate agent today. Are you in good hands?
It's always so satisfying to me when I hear from Dr. David Opperman at Colorado Voice Clinic that a listener came over and got some real help. Now, he doesn't tell me details. He doesn't tell me names, nothing like that. That's all private medical stuff, of course. But Dr. Opperman will say, hey, Ross, one of your listeners came over, and I was able to help him. Sometimes he'll say, the problem related to something, but again, never any really identifying information. But it's gratifying to know that folks are getting that kind of help from the doctor who really saved my career. I mean, such as it is, if you want to call this a career, and I do. I was on the verge of not being able to do this anymore. And Dr. Opperman figured out why, and long story short, he fixed it. And so if you're having trouble with your voice, and I don't mean you got a sore throat for the last couple of days, what I mean is something that's been bothering you for months or years, and it's getting worse or at least not getting better, talk to Dr. Opperman. They take most insurance. Super nice guy, too. ColoradoVoiceClinic.com.
Proud to serve our neighbors and customers, Colorado Farm Bureau Insurance donated $100,000 to Feeding Colorado. We're also applying premium credits and working with customers to maintain their insurance. Colorado Farm Bureau Insurance Company. Real service, real people. Learn more at cfbinsurance.com.
Frank Duran, the real estate man, can list your home, and he proves to get more money and faster results. He also shines on the buying side with a team that actively searches out the market for the very best deals and then negotiates an even better deal.
This is not just a job or a career to me. This is my passion.
Frank Duran with RE/MAX Alliance.
26 years of proven credibility.
Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. 303-920-1622.
Fairway Collision Center is a family-owned auto body shop that gives you quality workmanship at a fair, competitive price. Since 1994, neighbors have received great service, whether it's repairing a small dent or restoring your car. For more info, go to fairwaycollision.com.
An iHeartRadio original podcast. October 16th, 1972. Two congressmen board a small plane in Alaska. They fly into violent weather.
Icing conditions, turbulence.
And disappear, despite a massive search.
We're just praying that out in that snow they're going to find him walking around up there.
They're never found. The case goes cold. That is, until a young reporter named John Walzak starts digging.
I'm standing right in the middle of Portage Pass in Alaska.
What he finds is one of the strangest stories you've never heard.
Did he indicate what was in the suitcase?
He said it was a bomb.
So join John as he tries to figure out what happened to Congressman Hale Boggs and Nick Begich.
It was a big thing for them to be missing.
Listen to Missing in Alaska on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you find your favorite shows.
Anyone who builds, remodels, or repairs for a living, we know the way you work has changed. That's why Lowe's is committing today to build new ways to keep you working tomorrow. We are proud to introduce the new Lowe's for Pros job site, powered by Stream, an augmented video chat tool, so you can be there for your customers without actually being there. And the cost to use? Try it free through October 31st at lowesforpros.com/proloyalty. Just one of the reasons why Lowe's is the new home for pros. Services subject to Stream terms. Lowe's loyalty membership required. More terms apply.
If you're in debt to the IRS, there's good news. Optima Tax Relief can help you resolve your tax debt right from the safety of your own home. Optima's award-winning team works with you online and over the phone, so you don't have to leave the comfort of your home to put your tax problems to rest. Optima's A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and standing by ready to help you today. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-960-1575. 800-960-1575.
Optima Tax Relief.
For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
What a great time to refinance your mortgage, right? The economy is on the rebound, at least it seems to be, and I sure hope it is. And yet we have the lowest mortgage rates in American history, right? There are some folks who have gotten mortgage rates that start with a 2. Now, everybody's got their own circumstance, and you'll work that out. You'll work that out with American financing based on your own credit rating and equity in the home and whatever your own story is that influences the rates. But let's say you get a rate around 3%. I mean, if you had a rate around 4% back when you got that, you probably thought that was a great rate. And at the time it was. It absolutely was. I would have been super happy with 4% the first time we got there. But now it's a lot lower. Don't stick around in that higher interest rate loan and waste money when American financing can get you into something better right now. Give them a call today. 303-695-7000 or AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 182334, regulated by the Division of Real Estate.
For your back, neck, and joint pain, visit SpineOne.com for a same-day appointment right now. That's SpineOne.com.
The iHeartRadio app now has over 300,000 of the best podcasts from around the globe, making us #1 for podcasts, but making it super easy for you to find what you're looking for. Dive into just about anything.
I don't have to think about it. It's just tap here, tap there.
I love that podcasts are free.
Anything that's free is fantastic, especially when it's got good quality and is great.
Everyone should get this app, truly.
You're missing out.
iHeartRadio.
And of course, it's all free. Your music, your stations, and now #1 for podcasts.
iHeartRadio.
This report is sponsored by Revive Water-Saving Fertilizer and Soil Treatment.
We've got a warm summer day ahead. The high 88 degrees. Lots of sunshine. A 20% chance for a gusty afternoon thunder shower. I'm Fox 31 Pinpoint Weather Meteorologist Brooks Garner.
Put Revive on top of your shopping list today. Apply Revive now to have the greenest lawn in your neighborhood while saving water and money. Revive's unique formula of powerful wetting agents, soil conditioners, and nutrients makes your lawn greener with less water. Use Revive. It works.
Now, the Ross Report on Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Just as in 2016, some part of President Trump's 2020 support will come from people who affirmatively support him, who believe much of what he believes, who see him as a guy fighting the leftist establishment, including the media, who won't tolerate political correctness,